Hey folks, Josh here for another weekly business vlog. How the heck are you? It is August the 11th, and the summer's flying by. I hate to say it, but anyways, I'm not going to go on another rant like I did last week about summer and weather and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully you had a good week. Hopefully the summer's going well. I will say, on my end, we did have a little uptick this past week on the sales side, which is great. So, as I've mentioned before, summer usually quiets down for pretty much every business and every industry in Canada. July was certainly a slower month. But last week, we had a little bit of an uptick. People seems like, maybe all the people who went away in June and July, they're kind of back in the office. Still a little bit slow. Slower than normal, I should say. Still getting a fair amount of autoresponders. But we had a little uptick in sales this past week, which was nice, right? No complaints about that. We're growing in the right direction, which is awesome. At our immigration tech company, Visto.ai, if you're at all interested in immigration technology and AI stuff. So that is really good. I'm hoping it continues throughout August, and then usually in September things pick up and kind of go back to normal as well. So it's been pretty good there. Pretty typical week, I would say, on my side. Sales, marketing, onboarding new clients, all that fun stuff. I've been doubling down on content. So if you're not already on the Substack, which of course you should already be subscribed on the Substack, which you can find in the description below if you're watching on YouTube and or listening on your favorite podcast platform. Now, if you're listening through Substack, you can ignore everything I just said. And thank you for being subscribed on Substack. Anyways, there's a lesson there in content repurposing, right? And just FYI, I'll just take the cover off. What I do with this vlog, and this will segue into my next topic of content creation, is I'm super bullish. If you read one of my Substacks from last week, I had one post which was on 3 things I'm super bullish on in business right now. One of them is buying businesses. One of them is I don't remember. And one of them is creating content, building a brand, building an email list, stuff like that. I think marketing is going to be marketing and sales are going to actually overtake engineering, right? It's been a decade of the software engineer, right? Who's a software developer? Who can build me tech? Who can automate me stuff? Blah, blah, blah. And that's great. And we're still going to need engineers for quite some time. But as technology gets better, as no code gets better, as AI gets better, building technology is going to become more and more commoditized. Is that a word? Commoditized? It's going to become more of a commodity, just to make sure that I'm 100% here with my grammar. And what is going to be the most valuable, if anybody and everyone and their mother can create software and tech tools really easily, it's going to be the distribution side. Who can market and sell these products, these tools for these businesses, et cetera, et cetera. So I've always been bullish on marketing and content creation, but now more so than ever. Definitely check out that recent Substack post if you want to read the full article on why. It's buying businesses, social media. Now it's bugging me what the third thing was, so I'm going to have to go look it up quickly. So you might hear some tapping in the background, but I'll make it really quick. Here we go. It's on my Substack. It's called 3 Business Things I'm Very Bullish On. Yes, doing more stuff in person. So the 3 things that I delved into were, number 1, why I'm going to try and do some more stuff in person. So like networking dinners, events, stuff like that. Buying businesses and building an online presence. More important than ever, doesn't matter what industry you're in. Tech, services business, product, hardware, et cetera, it doesn't matter. What's going to be most important and valuable over the next 10, 20 years is, can you sell it? Can you get it in front of the right people? Can you make sales? Are you marketing well? And probably the best way you can do it right now, in my opinion, is building a following through social media. Posting content, whether it be video, audio, text, a combination, et cetera, and then ideally moving people off of those social media platforms and getting them onto something you actually own and control, like an email list, right? So one of the great things about social is the potential to reach a lot of people. Right? That's why one of the reasons why we all post on social. And you can build a following there, but you're kind of at the whim of that platform, right? What if the algorithm changes? What if your account gets banned? What if the platform tanks, right? What if? So what I've been doing for years, and this is what I recommend for every business, use social media, post a lot of content, try and gain followers, and then push them to an email list. Email list you own, you control, you have those emails and names for life. You can email those people forever, unless they opt out, right? And obviously respect the privacy laws of whatever jurisdiction you're in or, whatever. Don't be stupid, right? Don't just start spamming people. Don't add people without them opting in, et cetera, et cetera. Hopefully that goes without saying. So anyways, what I've been doing is doubling down on that, right? And if you've been following me for a little bit or a long time, some of you have been on my Substack for years at this point. You know that I've always been bullish on posting on social and using that to build an email list. And now I'm expanding that even further. And part of that is thanks to AI. And what I don't do is just use AI to craft posts, because I still think that most of the AI written stuff is very robotic sounding. I think for the time being, until AI gets even better, we want to use AI as a tool. So how can you use AI to supplement what you're currently doing to make it better or pump out more of it? So in my situation, what I'm doing, and I talked about this as well in a recent Substack post. If you want to look back on my Substack, again, the link will be in the description. About 5 or 6 posts ago, I had a post called Turning One Blog into 10 Posts with AI. And pretty self-explanatory, but what it was is how I'm using AI to take content I'm already creating and help me repurpose it so I can distribute it further, right? So for example, every week I write 1 to 2 Substack posts. And what I do with it now is I built a custom automated flow that will take that one longer Substack. It'll pull the 5 top business lessons or topics and convert it into 5 different text posts that I could share on Twitter and LinkedIn, et cetera, right? So again, I'm not using AI to be like, hey, draft me posts that sound like a robot. No. I mean, you can do that if you want. If you're doing nothing, I would say that's better than nothing. But right now, I can scroll through LinkedIn and I see so much garbage that is so clearly written by AI, and it's just not personal. It's not genuine. It's pretty boring, and I just scroll right past it. Now, that being said, if you're doing 0 on social media, it's better than that. But I still don't think it's all that great. What I would do instead is still take the time to design some content, write or record some content, and then use AI to repurpose it, reformat it, whatever you can to help spread it. So that's what I'm thinking a lot about right now is like, how can so one kind of overall strategy, and maybe I'm giving too many secrets here, but hold on a sec. I'm going to take a quick sip of water, because this is how I think you can best leverage AI right now for social media. One second. Oh, that was a nice sip of water. What I think the best way to overcome the challenge that I just mentioned, which is AI sounding too robotic, is to continue to create long-form content yourself and use AI to repurpose it into short form. So for example, every week, write a blog post and then use AI to take snippets of it so that you can create shorter social media posts. Or there's the video equivalent. This is what I do for Visto, by the way. Here we go, right? Every week or 2, I record a podcast episode. And then we have somebody take the podcast and cut it into 10, 15 little snippets so that they can be posted on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and stuff like that, right? And the reason why that's great is you still accomplish putting out a lot of content, but it's still you. It's still genuinely created by you. It's much better quality than if you just said, hey, AI, create me a video on XYZ, right? And it sounds like everybody else's AI, it's super boring, and it sounds robotic, and everybody can read right through it, right? At the very least, if you're going to use AI to create content from scratch, do a review, do an edit, touch it up, take out all the robotic sounding language and sentences and the stupid emojis that they put in. You know what I mean? You know what the telltale sign of that a post is AI is? There's one boring sounding sentence at the top. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing with my hands. Like on LinkedIn, I see this every day. Emoji, one big statement, emoji, right? Because they want to game the system and here's my hook, right? Emoji, one sentence across with some stupid sentence, emoji. And then you click more and it's like 6 blocks of text and they're all the exact same size, right? Each paragraph is the exact same size with an emoji at the end. And then there's some BS call to action at the end, like, let's continue the conversation in the comments. That's a dead giveaway as well. I should make a post on like the dead giveaways of how you know a post was written by AI, right? The glaring one-liner at the top with an emoji on each side, the same, maybe it's like 3 to 6 paragraphs of text, and they're each just blocks of text that are the exact same size, and then a corny AF call to action. That's like, let me know what you think in the comments. Let's continue the discussion in the comments with, probably another emoji or two, and then probably a few lame hashtags. So anyways, now I'm ranting and raving, but hopefully you find it helpful and or interesting. So those are my thoughts on that. Just be aware, if you're going to create that content, most smart people can read through it from a mile away. So it might not even be helping you, right? Like when I see a post like that, the last thing I think is, oh, this is cool. I want to go look into this person and what their business does. It's more like, all right, well, that was AI. See you later, right? And I don't even want to like the post because it's just lame and they obviously put no effort into it. So anyways, that's my rant and rave on that. So hopefully you find that helpful. If you're not already pumping out content and really focused on marketing, digital marketing is going to be so key. Let me know. Send me a message in the comments or you should obviously be on the Substack. So if you get my Substack twice a week, you can just hit reply and you will send an email right to me and I can read it and I could probably provide you with some decent help or thoughts or anything like that. So anyways, hopefully that's helpful. Quickly on the book side, last week I finished, what did I finish? I finished the Richard Branson book it's called Losing My Virginity by Richard Branson. And it was really good. Highly recommended. I think I talked about it more last week, so I won't go deep into that. Highly recommended read. As you know, there's nothing I love reading more than autobiographies and memoirs from successful entrepreneurs. This is definitely in that upper echelon of really good ones. Maybe not the top tier, like the S tier is like, the Phil Knight Shoe Dog, I guess this is not an autobiography, but like the biographies by Walter Isaacson, like the recent one on Steve Jobs, the recent one on Elon Musk, and then he also has an amazing one on Steve Jobs. I would say those are like the S tier. This one is like right underneath it, like A tier. Like you should definitely read it. Richard Branson's Losing My Virginity, highly recommended. Right now, what I'm about 1/10, 1/20th of the way, 1/10 of the way through, I would say, is I am rereading Awaken the Giant by Tony Robbins. If you haven't heard about Tony Robbins, he's a legend, the business coach and life coach GOAT, some might say, and it's really good. I'm kind of going back to the basics, and his stuff is gold, right? So I've been really wanting to go to one of his events. I've never been to a live Tony Robbins event, and I kind of want to. And a friend of mine who's a subscriber on this podcast and Substack is going to one in New York, I think in a couple months. So I'm thinking about it, but I really should go to one of his events before he retires or whatever. Anyways, so I will have more information on that book probably in the next week or two as I read more of it. And that's it for me. So hopefully this is somewhat helpful, especially that social media rant. Definitely make sure if you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Any like, subscribe, comment if you have any thoughts, really helps in the algorithm. If you're listening on the podcast, if you could leave a review or whatever the heck your podcast platform lets you do. But most importantly, if you're not already on the Substack, definitely make sure you're subscribed. The link will be in the description, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.